The US has announced that it will host a planning meeting for the Hormuz Security Initiative, bringing together countries from across the region to discuss ways of countering Iranian influence. The meeting is seen as a response to Iran's increasing military presence in the Gulf and its support for proxy forces in Yemen and Syria. This move comes with the US deadline looming for Iran to make concessions on its nuclear program, which could potentially lead to further escalation. The US has been working closely with its allies in the region to build a coalition against Iranian aggression, and this meeting is seen as an important step towards achieving that goal. The involvement of countries such as Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Jordan suggests that the US is serious about building a united front against Iran's growing influence. Meanwhile, Iran has responded to the US announcement by warning of the consequences of any military action against its territory or allies. The Iranian government has repeatedly stated that it will not be intimidated by threats from other countries and will defend itself at all costs. The meeting in Washington is seen as a critical moment in the ongoing standoff between the US and Iran, with many experts warning of the dangers of miscalculation and the potential for unintended consequences. As tensions continue to escalate, it remains to be seen how this meeting will shape the future of the region. Moving on to Europe, where the situation is becoming increasingly complicated by the involvement of other countries. The European Union has been criticized for its lack of leadership on the Iran issue, with many member states failing to take a clear stance against Iranian aggression. The EU's inability to exert pressure on Iran has allowed Tehran to continue its aggressive behavior in the region, including its support for proxy forces and its military buildup in the Gulf. This has led to concerns among European leaders that they may be caught in the middle of a wider conflict between the US and Iran. As tensions rise, many are calling for greater EU leadership on this issue, with some arguing that the bloc's lack of action is emboldening Iranian aggression. The situation remains highly unpredictable, with many experts warning of the potential for further escalation. In a shocking development, Iran's judiciary chief has called for swift prosecution of cases linked to enemy collaboration, sparking concerns about the potential for human rights abuses. The judiciary chief, Ibrahim Raisi, has repeatedly stated that Iran will not be intimidated by external pressures and will take action against those who cooperate with foreign governments. Raisi's comments have been welcomed by some in Iran, but others have expressed concern about the potential for abuse of power. The Judiciary Chief's office has announced plans to review cases linked to enemy collaboration, which could potentially include journalists, activists, and other critics of the Iranian government. The move has sparked international condemnation, with human rights groups warning of the potential for a crackdown on dissent. The situation remains highly volatile, with many experts warning of the dangers of unchecked power. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, officials have revealed that Russia is providing Iran with cyber support and spy imagery to help hone its attacks. This development has significant implications for international relations, as it suggests that Russia is actively supporting Iranian aggression in the region. The Ukrainian government has accused Russia of providing Iran with sensitive information about military targets, including intelligence on US military operations in the region. The move has been widely condemned by Western governments, which see it as a clear example of Russian interference in regional conflicts. In other news, the UN Security Council is set to vote on a resolution calling for restraint in the Strait of Hormuz, where tensions between Iran and the US are escalating. The resolution has been welcomed by many countries, including Saudi Arabia and the UAE, which have expressed concerns about the potential for conflict in the region. The situation remains highly volatile, with many experts warning of the dangers of miscalculation. As tensions continue to rise, it remains to be seen how this vote will shape the future of the region. In a shocking development, a US-Israeli strike has caused extensive damage to a synagogue in Tehran, according to footage released by Mehr News. The attack is believed to have been carried out in response to Iranian aggression in the region, but its exact nature and motivations remain unclear. The incident highlights the growing tensions between the US and Iran, with many experts warning of the dangers of further escalation. As tensions continue to rise, it remains to be seen how this will shape the future of the region. Meanwhile, experts are warning that the threat of destruction of Iranian power plants by the US could be considered a war crime under international law. The move has been widely condemned by human rights groups, which see it as a clear example of the dangers of unchecked military power. The threat has been made by former US President Donald Trump, who has repeatedly stated that he will take action against Iran's nuclear program if it does not make concessions. However, many experts warn that such actions could be considered a war crime under international law. In response to these concerns, some have called for greater transparency and accountability in military operations, particularly when it comes to the use of force. The situation remains highly volatile, with many experts warning of the dangers of miscalculation. Fact-checking experts are also challenging claims made by former US President Donald Trump about his foreign policy record, which they say contain numerous inaccuracies. The claims have been widely reported in the media, but fact-checkers are now stepping in to verify their accuracy. Among the claims challenged is Trump's assertion that he has taken action against Iranian aggression in the region. Fact-checkers have found that this claim is largely exaggerated, and that many of Trump's actions on the issue were actually the opposite of what he claimed. The incident highlights the importance of fact-checking in international relations, where misinformation can have serious consequences. As tensions continue to rise between the US and Iran, it remains to be seen how these claims will shape the future of the region. In a statement released by his office, Trump has dismissed concerns about war crimes, arguing that he is simply taking action against Iranian aggression in the region. However, many experts warn that such actions could have serious consequences under international law. The US has also rejected a ceasefire plan proposed by Iran, which would have seen an end to hostilities in the region. The rejection of the plan has been widely condemned by human rights groups, who see it as a clear example of the dangers of unchecked military power. In response to the rejection, Iranian officials have warned that they will not be intimidated by US threats and will take action against those who cooperate with foreign governments. The situation remains highly volatile, with many experts warning of the potential for further escalation. Finally, in a shocking development, former US President Trump has threatened to destroy Iranian power plants, sparking concerns about the potential for war. The move has been widely condemned by human rights groups, who see it as a clear example of the dangers of unchecked military power. The threat has been made by Trump's office, which released a statement saying that he will take action against Iranian aggression in the region if Iran does not make concessions. However, many experts warn that such actions could be considered a war crime under international law. As tensions continue to rise between the US and Iran, it remains to be seen how these threats will shape the future of the region.